Although Bowser Jr. is a Chad online character, pun
Oh,
intended.
perfect.
So let's keep at it here with MrGameNWak and Charles heading into game one.
Oh, I got the right. I was like, I don't get the joke. Oh, okay, I got the
Yeah,
joke. Thank you.
yeah. Now you get it. Yeah. Is this best of 3, by the way?
This is a best of 5. We are in top 8.
Top 8, beautiful. So this is a top 8 game, best of 5. Town and City will be the first map pick, actually. Very intriguing.
Yeah, interesting pick. I want to imagine this is going to benefit the Zelda a bit more, as he's going to have all that space to set up her things. That's one thing about Zelda you want to watch out for, is to make sure she cannot set up her stuff. Obviously kind of hard with that neutral B just sending you right away, as we see right there.
And this is where, this is actually a very good BGR stage. The platforms are very convenient for Bowser Jr. and the FD state is also not bad for him, so looks like this is maybe why both players just felt really good about this stage.
Yeah, it's really not a bad stage for either or, but it's just, I feel like on paper it's going to benefit Zelda a bit more, but he's making it work right now, keeping it extremely even. Obviously, when it comes to kill power, Bowser Jr. has that in spades, despite also even being extremely heavy in his own right, too. And that's what I find the most frustrating thing about Bowser Jr. is because he has so much weight. With that much agility and recovery, you wouldn't picture it. Again, they're just trading back and forth with their projectiles. No one actually getting any footing. It's really just a back and forth hit match. Watching get bombed by his own bomb there for a second. Gets in with the clown card. He was able to actually get it. It looked like a stampede. He's like just running at him. I got you.
Right.
Again, that weight coming into effect right there. That should have been a stock, but there we go. We're going to clean up right there with a double team coming from the soldiers, Phantom, and Zelda.
There you go. Charles clutching out that first stock, and the Bowser Jr. up smash. You have to watch out of that, out of shield. Bowser Jr. will just murk your stock if you're jumping around his shield too much.
And I like the fact that that first stock took quite a bit of time, because they were just hitting each other back and forth, and they both lost that stock right to begin with. How are they going to adjust now? We do see Charles with a bit of a lead. Charles actually did get top 8 at the last Smash Cast Bash. MrGameNWak, I believe, did not participate, so good first showing for sure.
Yeah. Charles right back at home in the top 8, it seems, and gets a new opponent in MrGameNWak. And, you know, this is, even though on paper you might think, oh, Zelda wins this matchup, or she looks really good in this matchup, not a lot of people have this Bowser Jr. matchup. It's hard to come by.
Yeah, that's the thing I actually explained quite a bit, is that even if your character wins a matchup, if you don't know why or how to exploit that, it doesn't matter. The matchup knowledge is way more important. And as you mentioned, even if the character beats Bowser Jr., no one really plays Bowser Jr., so it's really hard to come across that matchup.
Oh, yeah. It makes stage picking and understanding how you want to go about the neutral that much harder, but so far I'm seeing Charles deal very well with Bowser Jr.
Absolutely, I'm loving the pace of this matchup, and it's so funny that even like 2 zoning characters, or characters that are just fling projectiles, is still really exciting in Ultimate, and gets that precision back air right there. Doesn't matter how heavy you are, that thing kills stupid early.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna see here if MrGameNWak can slowly but surely pull this back in his favor, but
oh there's a
wow,
favor right
great
there. That was
awareness
beautifully
right
set
there.
up.
The Mecha Koopa walking back, and that's something that you always have to be mindful of when you're playing against Bowser Jr. is where is the Mecha Koopa walking on the stage?
Absolutely, that was like really nicely done. That's the thing about MrGameNWak. He doesn't actually have a main, I feel, or at least not for very long. He definitely switches back and forth. Just that today, like, you know, the Bowser Jr. is the flavor of the month, but he still somehow has a very good grasp of all the characters he plays, despite having so many.
Yo, he was gonna combo into that Mecha Koopa yet again, so it feels like as soon as the projectile hits, he's reacting properly to the hit, which is going to get him some clutch punishes in this set.
And with what we've seen so far, I'm already extremely happy we put this on stream, but again, the heaviness of Bowser Jr. might have potentially set him up for a victory here. It's always frustrating when you get that kill move and it doesn't quite kill. You think it's over, but Bowser Jr. lives again. Another chance to potentially kill. Good patience coming out. Oh, and he parries into... Oh my god, this is so cool. I'm so glad I put this on.
Yeah, he clutched it. Let's see. Oh, he's living. Both boys living super late. Let's see if who's going to end up taking this. Going right down the middle. Charles feeling a bit greedy with the a B. Oh, the strong hit though on the.
But did you see that? It actually threw up his timing because he actually probably would have evaded that with the jump. But after he did the jump, not only did that Phantom actually approach him, but it stalled while hitting the Mech Koopa for just long enough for him to land on the platform and get hit by it. So kind of unfortunate, but very impressive match. Again, good. I'm glad you guys came on to stream. I'm glad we got to stream this.
Oh yeah, no, it's we got to see some of the micro interactions that can happen in this matchup right here with the projectiles, and Charles really had a good grasp of how to use his reflector to kind of push his advantage further and further against Bowser Jr. in this matchup. So it did feel like he had a good grasp of what he had to do, and that took him to a win. Very good work on his part.
Honestly, it could have went either way. I'm just loving the back and forth of that. It was really, there's times where like like Zelda would hit him with an up B, but at the same time he gets hit by the Mecha Koopa, so they just both go flying off. Like, there was so many interactions of like running at each other, blowing off, like just at the same time. It was so cool. Yeah.
No, I loved what I saw absolutely right there, and we're probably gonna get to see more of Hit here incoming. With it being that close, I think both players are gonna stick to their guns. Maybe we're gonna see a stage switch. I wouldn't be too surprised.
I'm hoping to see a very quick transition into the next game.
That's what we're all hoping. That's what you're hoping as the TO. I'm hoping the same as a fellow commentator.
So get that action going.
Yeah, like, get the action going. I think Triplatz is decent in this situation for Bowser Jr. If he wants to go back to Town and City, he'll be very comfortable there as well. He seemed to be very comfortable, and it's a very good stage for BGR. We'll see where this is being taken to. If my intuition was relatively correct, and it will be Kalos this time around.
Very nice stage for a couple of reasons here, but again, we're taking another big, long stage for them to get set up. What I do like about this stage quite a bit is that he can actually use the Mech Koopa on the platforms, and it covers that option entirely because it moves back and forth, right? So for ledge traps, it can actually be quite useful on this on Kalos, where it might not be in other stages.
Oh, for sure, and it does help Bowser Jr. a bit with his recovery, just the way the platforms are placed on this stage. It gives him some extra options that he normally doesn't have.
Looking like a much quicker game this time around.
Yo, for real, the Dince Fire right there from Charles was very precise, and I know how hard it can be to hit that strong hitbox, so very
absolutely. And the thing that's cool
about
that is a lot of Zelda players will try to shoot to block off things, but he was actually predicting where he's going to go. He played the Space Invader technique, where you shoot where he's going to be instead of where he is. Again, getting punished for taking out his partner. Again, it's like almost like a 2v1 right now. It's like an Ice Climber's effect. But the Mecha Koopa, again, a good partner in his own right, gonna cinch through. Cut off the momentum right now and gets a 2-frame with the cannonball. Are you serious?
Yep. Very good job right there from MrGameNWak, and we're seeing him get closer and closer to the skill, but Charles is just not budging.
Ooh, right in the face.
Stock, yo!
And that's the thing about Bowser Jr. too, is that he takes damage differently depending on where he gets hit. If it's on a clown car, it will deal less, and then obviously the top of his body will take more. He took that right to the face.
Oh yeah. Smack dab on the baby Bowser face, and
takes that stock a bit. It's a little too late right now. He's a full stock behind. He's going to make a miracle happen right now. And with how close the game as was last time, I don't know if it's going to be easy, but he's making it happen.
But see, there you go, 41. He kind of dropped the combo, but he still got a nice 41% from that. So you can. This is where you can see really where Bowser Jr. kind of shines in that early percent.
Oh, apparently I have to smash on. I have to change that. For this to be a best of 5, it's not automatic. Whoopsie.
Oopsie daisy.
That's gonna be fun because I don't actually know how to do it.
Hey, all right. Well, you figure that out. Meanwhile, I'm.
Oh, you know, in that case, it's gonna be a best of 3. I'm sorry. Because the last match was a best of 3. Sorry about that.
Oof, and it's over.
Oh,
just
I'm
like
sorry.
that.
We'll be that guy.
You called that kind of late, man.
I did. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Either way, we got to see some nice losers action. Hopefully the rest of the bracket, because that would be awkward if losers quarters was not best of 5. If not, we'll make it work somehow.